see people on social media and you can think their life is perfect and it's not. And I know we have gotten, I don't even want to say comments, but just assumptions from people like several times that, you know, because we're on social media that we already have it figured out, or because we're social media coaches, we already have some kind of, you know, thing figured out in terms of our life. And that's not always the case. And the reason I'm saying this is because I know even my sister, even my family, sometimes are like, oh, you know, it's so easy for you, or they think that it's easy for us now, but they don't realize how much work we had to do in order to even get here, which is the reality. And we talk all the time about how we got to Arizona, but I don't think we've really gotten into like the nitty-gritty details of how when we got to Arizona, we literally had sometimes about $20 in our account, and we would be happy the day that we could afford a pizza because
that was our reward.
Yeah, we were literally just trying to get started again in another state.
Yeah, and we were just using whatever means necessary we could to fund our business. We knew our reality was that we had to keep going with our business. But the perception could be that we have been doing this flawlessly the whole entire time, but that's not true at all whatsoever. Like right now, it is a struggle. Like people don't realize that, but everybody is also struggling, which is unfortunately the reality.
Yeah, and I think especially with social media, something that I've learned is that for me, it's always been kind of like challenging to navigate sometimes when you're a social media coach and you're telling other people how to get clients and they're like, oh, well, you can get clients so easily. Like, you know, why are you struggling within your business? And even though, yes, like we've learned how to get clients now, people don't realize there's still a process. There's still a timeline for things. So yes, we could create more content. We could take sales calls. We could reach out to clients and we can get things working in the pipeline. But people don't realize like it still takes you sometimes even 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days to sign on those clients, and everything takes time and it takes patience. So even with social media, that's why we always say, you know, social media is you just seeing people's pretty highlights, because yes, we might post all this value on social media, but sometimes that doesn't always mean that it's our reality. And again, it's like a tricky line with social media, but
we show what we want to show.
But yeah, and it just goes back to like you show what you want to show, but at the same time, you know, make sure you're being authentic with it. Because one thing that we have always done on social media is we've always been real with our audience. Like we always like share behind the scenes, us doing new hobbies, us doing new things, you know, even this
stuff
podcast
that we actually do on a day-to-day basis. Like,
yeah, even through this podcast, like we're sharing a lot of our struggles, a lot of our ups and downs. And I think for us, like it has been so important to be authentic and be real with you guys. So that way you guys can see, you know, if you're going to get into entrepreneurship, or if you're going to be a social media manager or strategist or even videographer or solopreneur or coach,
editor,
it's always going to be hard. Like it's not going to be easy. And so,
especially when you have any type of goal, the perception is that you can just obtain it, and people don't realize like when you go on a journey or a path to start something new, that's when stuff get the hardest. Like way harder than you just chilling. As soon as you like start going this way, it's immediately a struggle. And that's when people don't realize that a lot of people unfortunately like quit at that point. That's why there's a such thing as the top percenters and XYZ, which is the reality. Like there's not a lot of people actually successful with the stuff that they're doing. Even the people that you think that are on social media, like some of those guys are not. And success could mean perception, right? Perception is that success can mean different things to different people, right? But I'm gonna just stop right there because I don't want to be, you know.
And that kind of goes into like a different topic of is like, what does success mean to you? Because I think even with social media, I don't know who you guys are comparing yourselves to. Like, you can compare yourself to somebody else just because they might have more money, they have more freedom, they have more happiness. But even with social media, like we try to be super transparent about that. It's like, you know, in the beginning, yes, you're going to work a lot of hours. And sometimes even when you're on your 4th or 5th year, there might be some months where you're putting in so many hours, But then again, what is your metric of success? Do you want more freedom in your life? Do you want more money in your life? Because for some people, they enjoy working 60-hour weeks, but then they enjoy making more money at home to help their family. Or some people like working less hour weeks and they might make the same amount because they're in a different industry. So it just goes back to show with social media, there are so many different ways to do it, and there's not like one way that fits all, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Everybody's idea of happiness is different.